Hey guys, it's Melissa here from melissaoatman.com. Welcome to another episode of Awaken Your Inner Awesomeness. The topic today is Mercury is in retrograde. What the heck does that mean? Why is everyone getting so upset about it? What actually is Mercury in retrograde, and how can you get through it with grace and ease? So if you are experiencing a lot of heavy energies today, then you will want to stick around and listen to today's episode. Before we get to today's episode, I want to talk to you about another podcast that I have listened to recently. It is called Why Do We Say That? This is a really fun, cute father-son podcast where they explain the meaning and etymology of words and phrases that we use every day. There are so many idioms and phrases that we have in our English language, yet most of the time we don't even know why we use those phrases or what they actually mean or where they came from. This podcast is so entertaining because it's a father-son duo, Scott and his son Liam, and they banter back and forth while also giving you a lot of really useful information about where words came from. And at the end of every episode, they play a game called Word or Not a Word, which is really fun. And apparently I'm not that great at it, but it was fun to listen to anyway. They give you a word and you have to decide, is this really a word or is it a made-up word? And it's a lot of fun, and they have many episodes and you'll learn a lot and also laugh in the process. So go and check out this podcast, Why Do We Say That? It's available on Apple Podcasts. You will have a lot of fun and learn a lot in the process. All right, so on with today's episode. We are talking about Mercury in retrograde. So yes, Mercury in retrograde is happening right now, but what exactly is it, and why are people so upset about Mercury being in retrograde again? Well, a lot of people want to blame Mercury in retrograde for a whole list of things like electronics not wanting to work, things messing up, having a hard time getting your words out. I know a lot of people that I follow on YouTube or listen to their podcasts. When Mercury goes retrograde, they always say they have a hard time getting their words out. And all of these things do seem to occur in Mercury in retrograde. And I know I've experienced the technology thing myself. I'm not really sure why the technology goes haywire, but we're going to dig into this. So from an astronomical perspective, Mercury in retrograde is actually just an optical illusion. What happens is that Mercury's orbit around the sun is shorter than the Earth's, which means that the Earth passes Mercury in orbit, and there's a moment where it appears to be moving backwards, but it's not actually moving backwards. So that is why they call it Mercury in retrograde. It looks like it's moving backwards, but it's not actually moving backwards. Mercury is the planet that represents communication. So the theory is that when it goes into retrograde, everything goes out of whack that has to do with communication. And I guess if you're looking at technology, if you are trying to do a Zoom call or you're trying to send an email, that sort of has to do with communication. So that could be why those things seem to be just going haywire. But it's not just the electronics and everything that tend to go haywire. The other thing that can happen is maybe you send text messages to people and they don't get them. The things don't go through. I know personally, last night I was trying to talk back and forth to a client. I was trying to send an email, and all of a sudden I had zero reception. I had no internet connection on my phone when I should have had. And I got a text message from AT&T, which is my provider, that said, oh, the internet was down and sorry for the interruption in service. So there definitely is something to this disruption of technology and communication. I'm not exactly sure the scientific reason for it. But all I can tell you is that personally, I have been affected by that this week. And the other weird thing was I was sitting at my desk at school and my smartboard kept coming on, and I would go over and turn it off and it would come back on again. That kept happening. And the students are like, is there a ghost? What's happening? Why does your board keep turning on? I don't know. I have no idea. I'm going to blame it on Mercury in retrograde. But let's look at the bigger picture here. Let's look at communication, because this is an important thing. Communication is so super important. And when Mercury in retrograde comes around, it seems like communication can go completely out of whack during this time. So maybe you send a text message to someone, but you were not careful in the way that you worded it. Your friend or coworker or someone may take it the wrong way. And then you're like, why did I even send that text? Now this was taken totally the wrong way. This is not what I meant. And then you feel misunderstood. You get all upset and flustered because you're like, that's not what I meant to send. So Mercury in retrograde can influence the way that we communicate with others, and it can also influence the way that we communicate with ourselves. You may have a harder time when Mercury is in retrograde being in touch with your own feelings and your own motivations. So you may be feeling right now that maybe you're walking through a fog. Maybe you don't really know how you feel about your life right now. One of the things that I know about Mercury in retrograde is that it can tend to make us feel like we're not really sure where we're going in life. So you kind of get a lost feeling, and that's because we're not in touch with how we're truly feeling at this time. It doesn't mean it's definitely going to happen to you. I just know that that is one of the things that can happen. And they always say that you should be very careful about signing contracts during Mercury in retrograde. I think you should always be very careful about signing contracts. So that's just a very good rule to have on hand forever, for life. Be very careful when you're signing contracts because things can go wrong. And there are people that will tell you that everything that could possibly go wrong goes wrong during Mercury in retrograde. And it can feel that way. It can. You might be tempted to hibernate. In fact, one of my listeners, Ginger, we were laughing about that. She posted on Facebook that it was Mercury in retrograde, and I said, I'm either going to start drinking or hibernate. And then I decided maybe I'll do both. But we can't hide and we can't drink everything away. That's not a good plan. So how do you deal with everything when Mercury goes retrograde and all kinds of things happen? Here's another one. During Mercury in retrograde, your past tends to come back up again. This is always a time when past relationships tend to surface. Either there is some sort of memory that pops up and you're being forced to deal with that past relationship and how it made you feel, or the past person comes back and wants to either start over or wants to have a clean slate or just wants to apologize or whatever, get everything off of their chest so they can feel better. That tends to happen during Mercury in retrograde too. That can be very difficult because it can be painful. Work also, you may still have feelings for someone, and when they come back in, it's confusing to you. I always tell everyone, you have to use discernment. Don't listen to what people say. Watch what they do. Words are just cheap. Anyone can say anything. It's the meaning that they put behind them. Anyone can say things to you like, I love you, I'm sorry, I want you back. But what actions are they putting behind them? That's what I pay attention to. Words are cheap. I don't put a whole lot of faith and stock in words, and that may sound harsh, but it's the truth. All my life, I've known people who will say, oh, I love you, but then the moment that you need them to be there for you, they're not. So words really have no meaning to me unless there's some sort of action that goes behind it. So if someone's coming back into your life in Mercury in retrograde, be discerning. Be very discerning about your energy. Think about this. Why is this person coming back? Are they lonely? Do they need an ego boost? Or they really miss you and really realize now how much you meant to them? Why is someone coming back? I question everything, question everyone's motives. And I don't mean that to be negative and to be like, I don't trust anyone. But you do have to be discerning with your energy because some people come back simply to see, oh, does this person still think about me? Oh, do they still have feelings? Oh, they still think I'm hot. Oh, that's great. They're coming back to boost their own ego and for their own selfish reasons, not because they truly care about you. So that's why we have to be discerning. Sometimes people do come back because they miss you and they care about you and they do want to try to fix things, but not everybody does. And I tell you this now because one of the things that is very, very prevalent when Mercury goes retrograde is that exes come back. It's lovely, isn't it? The other thing, though, is that sometimes those things come back around so that we can ask ourselves, did I learn the lesson? Did I heal what needed to be healed so this doesn't keep coming back around to me? And so that's another thing that Mercury in retrograde does, is that it allows us to really reflect on our lives and ask ourselves, are we happy with where we are right now? That's a really important question because many of us just end up walking through our lives with blinders on, and we go into the autopilot mode and we're not really looking at all of the things that are going on in our lives. I know for me personally, this week has been a week of reflection for me in that way. I've had to ask myself, am I really doing all of the things I need to be doing or should be doing in order to be living a healthy life? And I realized that no, I'm not. I need to be doing more things in my life. I need to be drinking more water. I need to work out more. I need to get more sleep. I need to do all of these things. So for me, it's been a week of reflecting. What can I do personally to physically help me become healthier and to feel better? So I've been working on my physical self all of this week. For other people, it might be, how do I communicate with people? Is my communication good? Yes, no. It might bring up a lot of things that we need to work on. So think about what is coming up for you and how can you get through Mercury in retrograde with a little bit of grace and ease. So one of the things is to make sure that you are doing a lot of self-care. You may want to surround yourself with your favorite crystals, carry them with you. I've never carried a crystal in my bra before, but a lot of people say they do it. I will carry one in my pocket or something like that, but I don't know, that's something to think about. But I love working with crystals because they definitely clear any negative energy that is around us. Also, make sure that you're going through and clearing your home every now and then, either by burning some sage or some Palo Santo, and you can clear the energy. Energy sometimes gets stuck and trapped into our house if we don't, clear it every now and then. So it's a good indication to be clearing your house, clearing yourself, all of those things. So another thing during Mercury in retrograde is just making sure that you're taking care of your electronic stuff, because that's the thing that it seems to really affect the most, which is very strange, but it really does. But it doesn't have to be the thing. You don't have to be like, oh no, here comes Mercury in retrograde again. Just have patience and know that, things might go wrong right now. Electronics might stress you out right now, but don't allow it to stress you. Just take a deep breath, take a moment, do things that help you to relax and to not be stressed out, because the one thing that Mercury in retrograde can do is to cause you to stress out because things are not working the way that you want them to. It may take 50,000 times longer to upload things. You may have a very slow internet connection, and that can be frustrating because it takes longer to get your work done. But the main thing is to make sure that you are taking deep breaths, de-stressing. Lavender essential oil is an amazing thing to help you relax. So maybe while you're at work, diffuse some lavender essential oil if you can, or you can put it on your forehead or on the wrist to help you not feel so stressed out. Take salt baths, okay? You got to get rid of the bad energy. So take a salt bath, or you can swim in the ocean if you are lucky enough to live near the ocean. The ocean is so healing. Maybe put off starting any new projects during Mercury in retrograde because you may find yourself being more stressed out than anything and not really getting a lot accomplished. Also, as I said, clear your energy. That is so super important. It's important to do that every day anyway, but especially during this time. Double check all of your work. Make sure that you've done everything, you've crossed every T and dotted every I, because this is a time when we tend to make mistakes with our work. So be very careful. in making sure that you check all of your work thoroughly. It might be a good idea to back up your phone or your computer because I'm telling you, weird things happen with the electronics. Also, make sure you tie up any loose ends that you have. You don't want to leave any room for error during this time. Really listen to your intuition too, especially if you have contracts and things coming up around this time. Listen to your gut and listen to your intuition. Your intuition will never steer you wrong. So always, before you sign anything or you have anything important coming up, make sure that you're listening to your intuition, tapping into it. And if it feels like something is not right, listen to that. Especially too, when exes come back, listen to your intuition. What is this person's intention? What do they really want from me? You can get a tarot reading. You can use a pendulum. You can do a lot of things to really tap into your intuition and to try to figure out what's going on. Don't take things at face value. Really do your own research. Listen to your gut. You will know. You will know what someone's intentions are because you will feel it. Like, yeah, this person's really into me and they've just really missed me and they're coming back. Or, yeah, no, I think this person's just lonely. Or maybe, yeah, I wonder if the universe is trying to test me to see if I'm still stupid. All of those things can be the case. So listen to your intuition. Also, try not to take other people's irritability personally because Mercury in retrograde can cause a lot of mood swings. And you're going to notice that. I posted a funny meme on Facebook just today about how the astrological events that are going on can have a huge impact on your mood, and it can. So if you feel other people around you being very irritable, try not to take it personally, number one, because they're probably also being affected by the different astrological things going on, especially Mercury in retrograde. But also, clear your energy, because if you're around someone who's very irritable, then you can very easily become irritable, upset, and it can lower your energy and drain you as well. So if you're around people like that, remove yourself, if you can, from the situation, and then clear your energy. And you may want to do something to raise your energetic vibration, like listening to good music, or doing a quick meditation, or maybe just going for a quick walk. Whatever you need to do, there are a lot of ways we can quickly raise our vibration, thinking of a happy memory, doing all of those things so that you're not sitting here lingering with this other person's bad energy. You don't want to do that. It's also an important time to think before you speak. Don't just let the words fly out of your mouth. I had this happen in my classroom. I had a student who was having an emotional experience, and I really do think that if you're a teacher, you know this. The astrological things, the full moons, all those things will affect children's behavior. And the student was just having a bad day and just blurted out something you should not have blurted out in class. And all of the other students were all shocked, And I just pulled him aside and he's like, I'm sorry. I'm having a bad experience right now. I'm emotionally not feeling well. And I said, I know, I understand. I said, you cannot talk like that in class. And the next time that happens, take a breath, excuse yourself, and go walk out in the hall and get yourself together again. So it happens to everyone. So don't take it personally if someone else seems irritable and reacts in that way. And also, you need to take a breath and think before you react and speak, because you may have a tendency to be more irritable right now too. Everything that is happening right now is happening for a reason. It is happening to help push you forward. It's happening to help give you some new knowledge. It's happening to help you learn and grow. But it doesn't feel like that at the time. At the time, it just feels like this is annoying me and I am not enjoying this at all. But take a breath. There are things you can do to help get you through this. The self-care is so super important. Make sure that you're doing something every single day to take care of yourself. This is a great time for self-reflection. And if you have any past issues that have been unresolved, you may find that those are coming to you right now. You may experience a flood of emotions or feel very guarded against bad things happening that were happening from the past. So be kind to yourself and have patience with yourself. Try not to jump to conclusions for everything. Try to go deep within and ask, why is this happening? What is going on? Why is this coming up for me? Also, if you find yourself misinterpreting other people's text messages, emails, or phone calls, peace will soon return to your life. So again, take a breath. Don't react emotionally. Try to calm yourself first and try to have a more logical reaction to what is going on, because it will pass. Mercury will go back out of retrograde. Everything is going to go back to normal. Take time to do the self-care. It is so important. When you feel like you're not stressed out, when you've been taking care of yourself, you can react to things much better. Like yesterday when my student blurted out the thing he shouldn't have said in class, if I hadn't been taking care of myself, I might have just screamed at him and made it worse, because I would have been in his face and we both would have been yelling and it would have been bad. But instead, I was able to just calmly say, hey, that's not appropriate. That's not okay. If you need to go outside and take a breath and cool off, do that. But we're not going to be doing that in this class. And it worked out. He apologized to everyone and realized what he did was wrong. It worked out so much better than if I had just reacted. So during this time, it's super important that you're not just reacting to everything emotionally, that you're calming down, taking a deep breath, and just allowing things to come to pass. So allow the communication to flow. Don't jump to conclusions. And again, if people are popping back into your life and you're like, oh gosh, you can hear them out. Hear them out. You don't have to be defensive, but just use your intuition. You'll know what it's really about. Maybe it's just coming back up for you to resolve the issue. Who knows? Things come back around for many different reasons. Just have an open mind, use your intuition, trust what's really happening, and know that it is happening for your highest good. You're learning, you're growing so that you can let go, move forward, stop resisting everything in life, and allow what the universe wants to bring to you to come to you. And it will come to you in perfect and divine timing. All right, guys, so just be gentle with yourselves. So I wanted to pull some cards for you today. Before I get to the messages, I want to remind you that if you would like to listen to new episodes of Awaken Your Inner Awesomeness 5 days a week, you can join me over on Patreon for just $5 a month. You will get 2 exclusive episodes per week of Awaken Your Inner Awesomeness, and they are commercial free. So please come join me. And if you sign up for the All Access membership, which is $10 a month, not only will you get the 2 extra episodes, you'll also get videos of my guest interviews and card readings and guided meditations. So please join me over there on Patreon. I would love to see you. All right, guys, so the first card that came out, this is from the Healing with Your Angels deck by Doreen Virtue, is meditation. And I think this is so super important right now. It's important to get back into a habit of doing meditation so you can clear your energy. Meditating will help you to connect to your guides. And over on Patreon, I did a whole episode on how to connect to your guides. So it's helpful to do meditation to connect to your guides and also to connect to your intuition so you can make better decisions for yourself about your life. Next, we have the nature card. It's also important to get out in nature. That helps to ground you and to clear your energy. Right now, we're all in the season of fall in the United States, and fall is such a beautiful time of year. For us, the leaves are changing colors, the weather is getting a little cooler, and it's nice to sit outside and be able to connect to Mother Earth. The last card you have is power. It's time for you to take back your power now. For many of us, we have a hard time standing up for ourselves, standing up for our beliefs. It's time for you to do that right now and take your power back. And if you're one of those people who doesn't trust yourself, you don't trust your intuition, you don't take your power back, you are a people pleaser, and you always try to do things for others, consider enrolling in my 10-day intensive self-love course. In this self-love course, I teach you how to trust yourself again. I teach you how to figure out your old stories surrounding love and money, how to get rid of them and to rewrite your stories. And you can do this in just 10 days and it's only $20. It's all online. You move through it yourself at your own pace. There are videos and lessons for you to do, and it's yours to keep forever, so you can go through and revisit those lessons as many times as you want. So take advantage of that. You can enroll on my website at melissaoatman.com. And if you want to work with me, I would love to work with you. So go to my website, melissaoatman.com. There you will see all the services that I offer. You can even book a free discovery call with me if you're not sure how you would like to work with me, but you know you want to work with me. We can figure it out, or you can just message me. I love talking to my listeners, and you can message me through Facebook, Instagram, or email, or you can text me. All of my information is on my website, and it's also in the show notes of this podcast. So don't hesitate to reach out. I love working with people and helping them to find their true potential. All right, guys, I hope you're having a beautiful day from wherever you're listening. And I want to thank you so much for being here with me today. As always, I am sending you so much love and light. I will talk to you soon. Bye, guys.